Welcome back to another Smackdown review with me, Mr. Parkin, on behalf of the British Fist. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a combination of a load of different things. I'm going to be looking at some highlights from Raw, looking at some recent big WWE news topics that have been floating out there in the dirt sheets. And of course, I'm going to give my view on a lot of the segments which happen on SmackDown. There are a couple of filler segments which I really don't want to go too much into, so I'm going to not really spend too much time on those and spend a lot more time on the segments that actually did matter. Survivor Series is only 2 weeks away, guys. Put your hand up if that kind of came at you really quickly. I wasn't expecting this. Anyway, comments in the comment section below. Let's get on with this video. Okay, this whole opening segment with CM Punk and Curtis Axel. You had CM Punk starting the show, which is always a good thing on SmackDown. He's not really there too much. He talks about his beef with the Wyatt family. And then you have Curtis Axel coming out saying that he wants a match with CM Punk. And I'm like, oh, do we have to see this match again? How many times have we seen these two face off? Does anyone actually care about Curtis Axel now he's not with Paul Heyman? Is that the ultimate measuring stick as to how we should really be caring about a character on WWE TV? When he's not with Heyman, does anyone really care about the guy? His mic skills are very average at best, really, if you look at it. And as for this match, I didn't really watch it either. All I saw was Punk winning and then be getting a tease attack from the Wyatt family on CM Punk, which is continuing that story onwards, which is probably going to be mostly featured on Raw for the most part going into Survivor Series, as it is one of the bigger matches going in there. And to be honest, Daniel Bryan and CM Punk versus the Wyatt family, I thought they'd make this into some kind of Survivor Series match, and maybe they still are doing it, but it looks like it's just going to be a normal tag team match at Survivor Series, and I felt they could have incorporated a couple more people here, especially with the Wyatt family being at least 3 members, just saying. 2 matches I really wasn't all that fussed about on this show, and I mostly skipped, was 3MB versus the Usos and R-Truth, where R-Truth got the win. I saw no real importance to this match. Tamina and AJ Lee versus the Funkadactyls. AJ Lee got the win over Cameron Lynn, sorry. And I do think, are they going to go over an AJ Lee-Natalia feud down the line? That's kind of what they've been teasing, but I don't know what they're doing with the Divas division. And quite frankly, I'm not all that bothered right now. As part of the Del Rio Cena rematch, which we're definitely going to be getting at Survivor Series now, we had another boring, monotonous, typical promo from Alberto Del Rio, making excuses for how he lost to Cena because of his bad knee and how he went to the doctors, and no one cares. And I was thinking when Cena come out, thank God for Cena, even though his part in this promo really didn't help all that much, in my opinion, to really spark an interest in a rematch between these two. I don't really have an interest to see Del Rio face anyone right now, especially John Cena. It looks like they're going to be facing off once again at Survivor Series, which is in 2 weeks' time, which again jumped out at me as being quick, and I expect John Cena to win this match. And then we got Del Rio versus Great Khali. So following this promo segment with a match I don't care about because the 2 characters in there I don't give a shit about. Now, I know WWE want to focus pushing bigger guys, and I'm going to go on to a little bit more detail on that later, and I don't mind that. But please don't let one of them be Great Khali. Please. Daniel Bryan had a match against Luke Harper. I've seen Luke Harper have a good match with Cassius Ohno on NXT this recent week. 2 matches, actually. And I've seen him have a good match with CM Punk, and so I've heard a lot of good things about that match. So, in my opinion, this is an example of a guy that was on the independent circuit, but has the size that WWE generally like, and he seems to be getting in some pretty good matches with a lot of these top-tier superstars, which is definitely a good thing, especially seeing as Bray Wyatt is, I believe, currently injured and not able to work in the ring as much as they probably would want him to. So this was a pretty decent match. It's typical big man versus typical small man, and sometimes those tell the best stories, in my opinion. They're very simple stories to tell, and they make both of them look better because of it and more unique. The match ends in a disqualification when Daniel Bryan's just about to win with the yes lock, and you have the Wyatt family interfering. That brings out CM Punk to make the save. So this looks like this storyline is going to be featured quite a lot on Raw and SmackDown. It's going to be one of the bigger, more marquee matches on this Survivor Series card. So it'll be interesting to see who WWE blame the Survivor Series buy rate on this year. It will probably be once again on Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. Oh yeah, I'll be going on to that next. It seemed like on this SmackDown, a hell of a lot of TV time was devoted to this Big Show angle that they're doing on Raw right now and his path to the WWE Championship. And this is a big angle on Raw, and this must have spent about 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes, maybe, I don't know. I've skipped through a lot of it, to be honest with you, just highlighting this one segment and the main event match they had on Raw, and my God, did this make the show drag just a little bit. But it gives me an opportunity here to talk about some of the stuff going on in WWE right now. A big bit of news was that WWE were very disappointed with the buy rates, with Daniel Bryan being a main player, and they were a bit. They thought that if he was a bigger wrestler, that he may have drawn more. And it's quite interesting that this is also the week where WWE and especially Triple H are talking about, you know, pushing more bigger guys and making more larger-than-life characters. And I can understand why the WWE are doing this. I mean, there are a lot of smaller guys on the roster right now, and it's like TNA. They have a lot of smaller guys on the roster. Don't really have that many bigger guys, and there's not much variation there. So I am actually somewhat in agreement with the WWE that we do need more big guys in the WWE, as there are quite enough smaller wrestlers already. And I know a lot of internet fans may not like this, but we do need some more bigger, larger-than-life characters on TV. Generally, larger-than-life characters will draw money, you know, generally. Daniel Bryan could have a good role in the mid-card and maybe be an occasional main eventer, but he'll never be a top guy that draws for the company. It's just true. It just is very true. I'm just saying. That's my opinion. And WWE may be pushing Big Show in the main event due to his name recognition. And I know a lot of people may not care too much about Big Show, but the fact that they think he's a bigger and larger-than-life character, and the fact that he has some name recognition does maybe allow the propensity for him to draw a little bit more. And WWE may be right in pushing Big Show to it. And to be honest with you, the whole storyline going up to it, you know, WWE have done a lot to push this Big Show angle. They did the largest lawsuit, and, you know, that was a culturally relevant way for him to get to his WWE Championship match relating to a lot of stuff that happens in American society. And this is another long-term angle, like the Cody Rhodes stuff that WWE have been doing, that they, you know, of course, would want a big payoff for. So they'd want Big Show to be in a main event spot. They'd want some kind of payoff for it at the Survivor Series pay-per-view. Maybe further along down the line, they may use Big Show and Triple H as a marquee match to TLC, and then maybe use Big Show as a way to put Ryback over, for example, at WrestleMania 30. I'm just saying. So this whole thing with Daniel Bryan and CM Punk being relegated to mid-card for now is fine, in my opinion. You know, Daniel Bryan's had his time in the spotlight, and he was never really going to be the top guy for the company. That's why they did this storyline really in the first place. But they managed to get him over into a position where they could maybe bring him back into the main event scene, and it will definitely be believable. As for Big Show, I can understand why a lot of people probably don't care about Big Show, but let's see where this goes first. And this brings me on to my next piece of news that happened from Raw. Corporate Kane. You know, Kane is another example of a veteran with name recognition that could have a big part in a storyline. And this Corporate Kane I really like. I mean, let's face it, guys. The Monster Kane has got to a point where it's not really going to go anywhere anymore. So I like the new direction for Kane's character. It definitely makes him a hell of a lot more relevant than it did when he wore the mask and even when he was without the mask for this last year or so. Definitely makes him a lot more relevant and puts him in this main storyline with a vengeance right now. So Corporate Kane, I'm all for. And it also plays on the fact that Glenn Jacobs is actually a very smart guy in real life as well. So why not put him as the director of operations or whatever his role is going to be in WWE now? Whether he's going to wrestle or not, we don't know. But at least it makes Kane more relevant on the TV show. It's kind of funny, isn't it? On the week WWE and Triple H are talking about wanting to spotlight more bigger guys and more larger-than-life characters, we get Ryback versus Cena on Smackdown because they're two big guys going in around, and that's exactly what the crowd wants. Coincidence, guys? I think not. And it's talking about Ryback versus Cena, you know, Ryback's heel turn has led me to really not care about Ryback, and Cena's character really hasn't changed all that much either, so I guess you could say I was kind of a bit going into this match, but I gave it a chance, and it was actually a pretty decent match, I thought. You know, does anyone else also find it funny that Ryback is now using the jackhammer and everyone's kicking out onto it? It seems a little bit like a bit of a rib there to Goldberg, and especially after we've had all these rumors lately that WWE wants him to face Goldberg in a match at WrestleMania. He's all of a sudden using the jackhammer. They're all of a sudden associating Ryback with Goldberg on commentary, which they never really did before. And also, what's this with Cena adding new moves? I mean, bloody hell, he's going to have 10 moves of doom soon. He'll add another load. As for this match, though, I fully expected John Cena to win in exactly the way he did. You had Ryback lifting him up for the shell shock, and all of a sudden Cena out of nowhere, bang! AA. Yeah, it's a typical Cena win. It really is. And then, you know, but I'm not surprised he got the win over Ryback. I mean, that's kind of the right thing. Ryback's not really in any kind of storyline right now, whereas Cena's the World Heavyweight Champion. And he's going to be built as this, you know, big champion going forward for WWE, possibly into WrestleMania, which may lead him to facing Randy Orton. Nearly said Del Rio there for some reason. I don't know why. As for the post-match where Del Rio attacked Cena's arm, which in many ways makes a lot of sense due to his injury and due to his finishing maneuver, And then Cena just comes back and is Super Cena and doesn't sell the arm at all. And we've seen it all before with Sheamus and Cena. So, you know, that finish, just the heels, not allowing the heels to get any heat on the babyface, even though Cena has an obvious past injury, and it's an obvious way of getting heat on Del Rio, and an obvious way to maybe give him some kind of advantage over Cena. He needs all the advantages he can get right now, Del Rio, because he's never going to beat Cena in a million fucking years. Anyway, as for this edition of SmackDown, it was okay. It wasn't the best edition of SmackDown, but it sure as fuck wasn't the worst. I mean, at least we got a good Ryback versus Cena match, in my opinion, even though a lot of internet fans may not have thought that was a decent match. At least we got a pretty good match between Daniel Bryan and Luke Harper, and that storyline is continuing onwards. But a lot of other stuff on the show, I really didn't care really all that much about. I mean, it's quite strange. You know, they haven't really got many mid-card feuds or lower-card feuds going down that are quite obvious, really, going into Survivor Series. And, you know, I would have thought they would have maybe announced a couple more matches 2 weeks in advance. And once again, I'm wondering how many actual Survivor Series type 5-on-5 matches they're actually going to do at Survivor Series now. You can once again comment in the comment section below. Right now, it looks like we're lucky if we're going to be actually getting one. And that may even be to do with the tag teams now, as they've got a lot of tag teams. And it's funny how they've got a lot of tag teams going into Survivor Series. That may be some kind of 4-on-4 tag team match, hiding the tag belts, which may be a good thing. Anyway, leave me your thoughts on this show in the comment section below. I've been Mr. Barking. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.